Good morning, students. Can you tell me what is the other name for impure substances? Impure substances are also known as mixtures. Do you remember how many types of mixtures are there? Yes, we have homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures depending on their composition. If they have uniform composition, we say they are homogeneous mixtures, and if they have non-uniform composition, they are heterogeneous. We have even learned another classification of mixtures depending on the size of the particles. Do you remember? Yes, we have three types of mixtures: solution, suspension, and colloid. Today, we are going to learn about solutions. In this slide, you can see a glass of lemonade and a glass of soda water. In lemonade, you have lemon juice and water. The lemonade will taste the same throughout the glass. The taste of the lemonade will be the same. That means it is homogeneous in nature. The composition is uniform. Similarly, in soda water, the carbon dioxide gas will be dissolved uniformly throughout. Even soda water is homogeneous in nature. These are the examples of solutions. Now, let us see how we can define what a solution is. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Generally, a solution will have two components. Among them, one will be present in larger quantity and one component will be in smaller quantity. The component that is present in larger amount and can dissolve the other component in it is called solvent. Now, the second component that is present in lesser quantity and gets dissolved in the solvent is called solute. You will understand better if you take the example of lemonade again. Here, lemon juice will be in smaller quantity, so it is solute. Water will be in larger quantity, it is solvent. And the water will dissolve the solute. That is, the lemon juice can be dissolved in the water. So I think you understood what is solute and what is solvent. The one that is present in smaller quantity is solute, and the other component which is present in larger quantity is solvent. Now let us discuss few more examples of solution. In this you can see a bottle of tincture of iodine. Have you ever heard about it? Where do we use it? It is used as an antiseptic. We use it for minor cuts and wounds because it will act as an antiseptic. In this example, there are two components. One is iodine and the other one is alcohol. Iodine is in the solid state and is the solute. It is present in smaller quantity. Alcohol in the liquid state is the solvent. So iodine is taken as a solute and alcohol is the solvent. Now the other example is sugar in water. It's nothing but a sugar solution. So can you name the solute and the solvent here? Yes, sugar is a solute and water is the solvent. Now before we see the other examples, let us discuss what is an alloy. An alloy is a homogeneous mixture. It is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal. Can you give an example of an alloy? The gold that is used for making ornaments is an alloy of copper and gold. The reason for adding copper to the gold is it gives hardness to the gold metal. Basically, gold is very soft and cannot be used directly for making ornaments. So, they alloy with little amount of copper and then make the ornaments. Can you give one more example of an alloy? Brass. It is an alloy of zinc and copper. Brass is an alloy of zinc and copper. You might be thinking why we are learning about what an alloy is when you are learning solutions. Even alloys are solutions. Let's see how we can say an alloy is a solution. Can we separate an alloy into its components by physical methods? No, we cannot separate the components. But still, it is considered as a mixture because it can have variable composition and it also shows the properties of its constituents. Alloy is a mixture because it is homogeneous, it is having variable composition, and it also shows the properties of its constituents. Hence, an alloy can be taken as a mixture and it is a solution. An alloy is a solid in solid solution. Now let's see the next example. Soda water or the aerated drink that we have learnt before. In this, the dissolved carbon dioxide is the solute and the drink will be the solvent. What type of solution is this? It is a gas in liquid solution because CO2 gas gets dissolved in the drink. So it is a gas in liquid solution. Even the air that we breathe is a homogeneous mixture. It is a mixture of gases. So we can say air is a solution of gas in gas. So far, we have seen several examples of solutions. Now, let us discuss about the properties of a solution. In all the examples that we have seen till now, we have observed that they are homogeneous mixtures. So, the first property can be stated as a solution is a homogeneous mixture. A solution is a homogeneous mixture. Consider sugar solution. Can you see the sugar particles in it? No, we cannot see. They are dissolved. the particles of a solution are quite small. They are smaller than 10 to the power of minus 9 meter in diameter. They are very small. They are smaller than 10 to the power of minus 9 of a meter. The 10 to the power of minus 9 of a meter is known as nanometer. Because the particle size of a solution is so small, we cannot see them by our naked eyes. The third property is about Tyndall effect, which we have discussed in our previous class. Solution does not show Tyndall effect. The small particle size of a solution is the reason for the light not to be scattered. The last property states that we cannot separate the particles of a solution, the solute particles of a solution, by the process of filtration. That is, we cannot separate the sugar particles from the sugar solution by the process of filtration. Can you guess why we cannot separate? Yes, it is due to the small size of the particles. We cannot separate them by the process of filtration. Even the particles do not settle down when you leave it aside for some time without disturbing. Hence, we can say a solution is stable. If you take a glass of sugar solution and leave it aside without disturbing, and if you observe after some time, you cannot see the sugar particles being settled down. It will remain in the solution, so we can say sugar solution is stable. So, all the solutions are stable. The particles cannot settle down when left undisturbed. So far, we have discussed the different examples of solutions and interpreted their properties. We have learnt about the properties of a solution. In the next class, we are going to discuss about concentration of a solution. Thank you, students.